Call the municipal council meeting for the first meeting of 2015 on Tuesday, January 6th to order. In a moment, I'm going to ask if you stand for a pledge of salute, but following the pledge of salute, I would ask that you remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of two people who passed away since we last met. One was Blanche Blaze, who was 97 when she passed away. She retired as the assistant city treasurer for the city of Attleboro, and was very active with the city of Attleboro retirees, as well as some of the other groups in earlier years, such as Girl Scouting. And then also, more recently, Shirley Coelho passed away. Shirley is known to many of us, and for a number of years she had worked tirelessly for the city. She was an active volunteer in various civic groups and involved with A New Hope, for example, an agency that is dedicated to preventing domestic violence. But she's perhaps best known for being involved with a lot on the political scene in the city, dealing with a lot of issues such as veterans issues and Social Security, with her involvement as the legislative aide to two different congressmen who served the city at one time, originally with former U.S. Representative Bonnie Frank, and then most recently with Representative James McGovern, before the district was redistricted recently. But she was somebody who was known to a number of people in the city, a number of us. We had crossed paths at many times in our work together in the city, and she is her loss is great. Her late husband was the former superintendent of schools that the Coelho School, Robert Coelho School, is named after. So again, after we have the flag salute, if you just remain standing for a moment of silence for these two women, I'd appreciate it. So let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. This time, just a reminder to turn off the cell phones as they do interfere with our broadcast to different parts of the city. And try to get mine off. There it is. Thank you. I would, at this time, entertain a motion to approve the records of the meeting of November 10th, 2014. Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. I'm going to entertain a motion to suspend the rules, and the purpose for that is we had not met last week. There are some items that were put in committees that we need to deal with. So similar to some of the meetings that we have in the summer, the purpose of suspending the rules would be for us to be able to take a break midway through this meeting for the purpose of those committees that need to meet.
Second.
So, thank you. So I have made the motion with the second from Mr. Waite. We'll have a roll call vote beginning with Mr. Conte.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Mr. Waite.
Yes.
Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau.
Yes.
Mr. Cooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Parika.
Yes.
Ms. Hegney.
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion passes. We're operating under suspended rules. Okay. There's, as far as the public hearings, originally there were going to be 3 public hearings scheduled for this evening, but I did want to announce that the ECHO ATM has withdrawn their application. So the 2 public hearings that were going to be held tonight have both been canceled, and there is in the other communications reference to that particular item. I'm also going to continue to the meeting of January 20th, 2015, the layout and acceptance of roadway D, Opportunity Drive. So that leaves us with only 1 public hearing left for this evening, and I would ask Ms. excuse me, I would ask our city clerk, Ms. Chacro, to read the notice for that, please.
Public hearing to install a stop sign at the intersection of Reed Street and Laura Drive.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Anyone speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Anyone to speak in opposition? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Mr. Blair?
Just to, and I've got several calls about that.
Okay.
One from a resident had an accident there. Evidently, I'm not familiar with it, but when you come out of Laura, it looks like you go right across the street. So it is a dangerous intersection. And to be truthful with you, Walter, I didn't realize it was already out, but
Okay.
it is a dangerous intersection.
Okay,
Looked at it
thank you.
today.
Councilor Thibodeau, do you have anything to add on this?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. President, as Peter just mentioned, the sign is already up. Chief Hegney, when Chief Hegney took a look at it while the Traffic Study Commission was still discussing it, and the way that Joe, our chairman, has been running things is rather than to schedule a site visit and have the whole Traffic Study Commission go and look at it, individually, we would take a look at things on our own and then discuss it in the following meeting. Well, that's what was going on, but when Chief Heckney took a look at it, he felt that it was an unsafe situation, and he put up a temporary sign through his authority as the chief safety officer of the city. And knowing that with his recommendation and the recommendation of the Traffic Study Commission, that we would go through the process and get it on the books accordingly in the ordinances.
Okay. Is there any other comments, anybody else? Councilor Cooper?
Thank you. I had introduced this as new business through a phone call that Councilor Thibodeau actually received, sent to me. I called the constituent, and her concern was they added a subdivision. It's always been a bad intersection there, but in the increased development at the top of the hill, and they added a smaller 5 or 6 lot subdivision directly across the street from it, and some homes have gone in there, so it just added additional confusion to the area, and we're all familiar with Reed Street, and so this is where it kind of narrows down, and there's no sidewalks other than the radius at the 2 new entrances to the newer subdivisions, and so thank you to everybody who responded so quickly and put the sign up. But I did get a call within several days that the temporary sign had gone up almost immediately, but that the permanent sign had been installed. So thank you to everybody for taking care of that, and thank you to the person that made the original call. Thank you.
Councilor Parika?
May I just ask one question?
Yes.
Through the President of Walter.
Yes.
When they put up stop signs, do they typically paint the stop line on the ground as well when they do that, or is that a special request?
That's kind of optional.
Okay.
If when the members of the Traffic Study Commission and the Superintendent of Public Works, who is a voting member, and the chief or the chief's representative, who is a non-voting member, if they bring that back to the Traffic Study Commission and request that that be done, then usually it's done. However, it's a seasonal kind of thing.
Right.
If you notice in the citywide, before school starts in September, everything is out there and painted nice and fresh. Because usually the salt and sand and other chemicals that have hit the roadways has worn down, as well as the wear and tear, has worn down the paint, the previous paintings. So it kind of depends on the location of the sign, the situation, the sight line that you have from where the stop sign is. I know that I don't think there's a stop sign in the city that once you stop at the stop sign, you don't have to creep forward in order to have a clear view one way or the other, because we're dealing with New England roads
How past?
that, there was no rhyme or reason when they put them there, other than the fact that, you know what, it used to be a wagon trail, or it used to be the connection between this spot or that spot, or that's where the old Gee Whiz Railroad used to run, so that has a nice solid bed, we'll put a road there. So those were the kinds of non-planning that went into the original layouts of some of the roadways.
If I may just, in my experience cruising around the city, I found that it is, especially when we're putting in a new stop sign, I know in the winter months you can't paint
Yeah.
on the road, but when we are, I think it's something that perhaps as a council we should be a little conscious of, because it is helpful when you're installing a new sign to also have those marks
Yep.
on the ground. I know when they put up new stop signs or refresh the stop signs down here on Park Street, Park and School,
Yep.
because that was a really difficult intersection down there, that what I noticed first were the lines on the ground before I noticed the stop sign. So that's just something I would like to float out there to.
Yeah, and I think that that's, if I may, Mr. President, I think that that's a very good point, and more often than not, once it's brought to the attention of the superintendent, it gets taken care of.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Okay, any other concerns or comments? Councilor Thibodeau, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
no, Mr. President.
Anything. So based on that recommendation, I'm going to declare that public hearing closed, and that does wrap up all of our public hearings scheduled for this evening. So we'll go on to a reading of the mayor's communication.
January 6, 2015, dear municipal councilors, for your information, the city's capital improvement program for FY 2016 to 2020 was submitted on December 31st, 2014. We look forward to working with the municipal council in the coming weeks to review the data as submitted. Furthermore, I hereby request your honorable body to hold a public hearing at the appropriate time.
Capital Improvements and City Development Committee, please. And Council Conley, this matter requires a public hearing. It's called for public hearing on the,
February 3rd?
yeah, it should be, yeah, February 3rd, which is the first Tuesday of the month.
That's my request.
Okay.
Second?
Thank you. That motion is in order. Are there any concerns or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. That hearing will be on the 3rd.
I respectfully request your honorable body to appropriate funding for a variety of safety materials and equipment to better protect city employees that are exposed to roadway hazards in the course of their job responsibilities, police and fire excluded. A multi-department effort is analyzing the city's safety materials on hand, suggests that we can improve the protection of all our employees and alert the public hazardous activities affecting roadways and pedestrian traffic. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to appropriate $34,026.92 from the undesignated fund balance general government as follows. $379 to Park Forestry Supplies Other, $1,269.06 to Park Forestry Safety Signs and Supplies, $1,815.58 to Park and Forestry Supplies and Equipment, $2,213.28 to Park and Forestry Foul Weather Gear, $4,842.50 to Public Works Supplies and Other, $19,386.83 Public Works Supply Equipment, $4,120.67 to Public Works Foul Weather Gear. Additionally, I hereby request your honorable body to transfer $4,524.89 from Water Enterprise Fund, Reserve Fund for transfer to the following accounts. $151.60 to Water Enterprise Fund Supplies Other, $4,373.29 to Water Enterprise Fund Foul Weather Gear. Additionally, I hereby request your honorable body to transfer $9,902.68 from Wastewater Enterprise Fund, Reserve Fund for transfer to the following accounts. $4,577.08 to Wastewater Enterprise Fund Supplies Other. $3,142 to Wastewater Enterprise Fund Supplies Equipment. $2,183.60 to Wastewater Enterprise Fund Foul Weather Gear. There are copies in your packet.
Public Works Committee, please.
As you are aware, on July 17, 2014, your honorable body transferred funds to various accounts for the City of Attleboro's 100th celebration. All expenses for the parade and complimentary activities have been satisfied and no longer require funding. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to transfer $34,830.34 to the citywide reserve fund for transfer from the following: $3,071.41 from citywide special event salaries, $5,449.70 from citywide special events, $18,825 from citywide parades, $7,484.24 from citywide amusements. Upon approval, the available balance in the reserve fund for transfer will be $65,109.50.
Budget and Appropriations Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Assistant Superintendent of Water Courtney Wunschel regarding funds to pay upcoming real estate taxes to other communities for the remainder of FY 2015. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to transfer $11,990 from Water Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer to Water Enterprise Fund taxes to other communities. There are copies in your packets.
Public Works Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding a grant that has been awarded via the 2015 Senator Charles E. Shannon Jr. Community Safety Initiative of approximately $15,600. This grant requires a 25% match, will be met by the use of the Recreation Department facilities and salaries of the existing employees. No hard cash match is necessary. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to approve the expending of such funds and any future amendments to the Attleboro Police Department to combat gang and youth violence through coordinated programs for prevention and intervention. There are copies in your packets.
Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, please.
For your information, I would like to inform your honorable body that I have made wastewater superintendent Paul Kennedy the acting water superintendent until a decision is made for a permanent replacement of Christine Millhouse, who retired July 11, 2014. I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding surplus vehicles that the Police Department would like to declare surplus for trade-in or resale value, and hereby respectfully request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. There are copies in your packet. A 2008 Ford CV,
You don't have to read the VIN.
Okay,
Let's go with the condition.
117,097 miles in poor condition. 2008 Ford CV, 140,285 miles in poor condition.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding a surplus vehicle that the Water Department would like to declare surplus for trading or resale value, and hereby respectfully request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. There are copies in your packet. 2001 Ford Ranger, 129,000 miles in poor condition.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding a surplus vehicle that the Wastewater Department would like to declare surplus for trade-in or resale value, and hereby respectfully request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. There are copies in your packet. A 2000 Ford F-350 pickup, 173,098 miles in fair to poor condition.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding surplus items that the Park and Forestry Department would like to declare surplus, and hereby respectfully request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. There are copies in your packet. One 1960 Gravely mower deck, L220, in poor condition. One Gravely snow blower attachment in poor condition.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding surplus items that the Water Department would like to declare surplus, and hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. 100 water meters used, 100 pounds of scrap metal, one UPS battery backup APC brand that no longer works, one lab line refrigerator no longer works.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the receipt of FY 2015 Student Awareness of Fire Education SAFE Grant and an FY 2015 Senior SAFE Grant from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts of approximately $9,318. The mission of the SAFE program is to provide fire and life safety education within the community, with an emphasis on educating children and seniors about fire and other related dangers. There is no matching requirement for this grant. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body to approve the expending of such funds and any future grant amendments by the Attleboro Police Department. There are copies in your packets.
That should be the fire department, right? Is your comments your fire department or police department?
Attleboro Fire Department.
Okay, fire department, okay. Thank you. Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee, please.
And it is signed sincerely, Kevin J. Dumas, Mayor.
Thank you. And we have a couple of other communications.
Yes, I have communication from EOCATM requesting leave to withdraw without prejudice the following applications. Application for a new 2014 junk dealer's license from Eco ATM Inc., 10121 Barnes Canyon Road, San Diego, California, to buy back used electronics through a fully automated kiosk machine to be located at 251 Washington Street. And the same type of application from the same people for the location at 469 Pleasant Street, Attleboro.
Okay, License Committee, please.
And I have a communication from PIRAC with the Public Employee Retirement Administration Commission relative to the FY16 city's retirement system appropriation of $6,166,190.
A copy to all members, please.
And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to go into the Committee of the Whole.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are now in the Committee of the Whole. If there's anyone who has business to bring business to the City Council, now would be the appropriate time. Seeing none, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to arise.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And we are back to the full schedule here. At this time, I am going to entertain a motion, a moment, for a recess for the purpose of, I know there are some committees that need to take care of, some the business activity at the prior meeting, and also to sign any of the other motions and so forth for later this evening. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion for a recess for that purpose.
Second.
Thank you. The motion is in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We're in recess at 7:23. I'm going to give up my chair, by the way.
Because no one else is here for this
Okay.
one. And I need you here for this one, because no one's here.
Right, that's what I thought.
Okay.
He must,
That's why I was going to go away, and I said, nah, I better stick around. So
Okay,
just let me get
I'm
my,
gonna,
just let me get my stuff.
Call to
together.
order at 7:24 licenses, and Frank is going to be the other member since I'm
Okay.
flying solo tonight.
Just let me get my,
I'm the only one on licenses here, so
Oh,
Frank's
license.
is gonna help, or else I won't get
As long
anything
as he
done.
only has one vote, that's,
Name's not Barry.
Yes, I know that. And I know that you're aware of that.
You weren't
sir.
here that,
Oh, but I know all about it. don't worry.
Everybody knows all about it.
okay, so I'm gonna start off with
This is story-
Counselor
story that I don't think we'll
Churchill's
ever die.
licenses, and I hope he feels better. He has bronchitis. So he's
yeah.
never sick either. He's like a person too, so I hope he feels better tonight too. Let's see, the first one is from the docket of January 6, 2015. I entertain a motion to approve the application for a 2015 renewal Class 2 auto license from Blue and White Motors Incorporated, 1815 County Street, Attleboro, Mass. For 4 customer parking spaces and 15 display spaces.
Second.
Thank you, and he had no objections that are written anywhere for that, so I guess recommend approval. All in favor? Questions, comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, motion passes. For the next one, I'm gonna read it and then have a little explanation for it. I entertain a motion to approve the application for a new 2004 Hackney carriage driver's license from Jeffrey Stewart Wallace, 900 North Main Street, Attleboro, Mass.
Second.
Thank you.
I'm ready for the rest of it.
For this one, we have to vote in the affirmative, but police have already sent a letter of denial to him because he was untruthful on his application, which is an immediate denial. So he was not truthful, so what we have to do is vote it out into the affirmative, and then on the floor tonight, the police recommend denial, so then we'll vote no. But we have to get it out of committee to vote on it. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, motion passes, thank you. And the last one, from the docket of August 19th, 2014, I entertain a motion to strike the following item from the docket of August 19th, 2014, the complaint from Jamie McKenna, 18 Newton Street, Attleboro, Mass, relative to AOK Used Cars, 650 Washington Street, Attleboro, Mass.
Second.
Thank you, and as previously, any correspondence that come into the council, they stay on the, within the docket, so not to have to keep reprinting this every week, but it will still be on the record that a complaint did come in. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion passes. That is all I have for licenses, and call for adjournment at 7:27 PM.
So moved. So second.
Oh, I was
Second.
gonna say you can't, there's only
Second.
2 of us.
You made the motion second.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, motion passes, we are adjourned. And I just have one quick one for Personnel and Human Services,
I do.
if you don't mind. Okay. I would like to call Personnel and Human Services to order at 7:28 PM. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I entertain a motion to confirm the reappointment of Ellie Kirby to fill an expired term on the Youth Commission for a term of 2 years, term to expire February 2017.
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna give that to Kirby, since it's his little, it's his little cub. so.
Okay.
Yes,
I have to declare that she's my daughter.
yes, lovely young lady.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
And while it'll, of course, affect my vote, I'm gonna vote anyway, so. Yeah, there's no financial issue
There's no
with it.
financial gain.
But you would never vote against it.
I wouldn't, no.
Not if you want to go home.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no, motion passes, okay. And I call for an adjournment of Personnel and Human Services at 7:29 PM.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Anybody else for anything?
Yes.
Yeah. There, so, okay. Bruce, you want,
Okay.
I thought if I can hold on to it.
Okay.
I just
I'd like to
want
call the Capital Improvements and City Development Committee meeting to order at 7:29. Thank you. I have 3 motions to bring before you this evening, and we need to have a discussion, 4 motions to bring before you, and a discussion about the capital improvement plan. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $18,807.66 from account 1000-359 undesignated fund balance general government to account 1124-1000-589040 citywide development to bring electrical service to 2 city projects the new animal shelter located on Pond Street North, and a new DPW Highway Division complex located on Lamb Street.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thibodeau. This motion is a little tardy. I wish it was here months ago because it's getting cold, and I believe that there's a cutoff time that the National Grid has for installing new poles. So this is a rather urgent matter, and I hope to bring this out and vote on this tonight. When I spoke to the general contractor at the animal shelter a month and a half ago, he was very concerned that this get through the council and get approved. So without electrical service, there's no way to keep everything inside the building warm while they're building it. They can't bring water in. It's going to hold things up. And same with the concession stand. Do you have any issues?
None whatsoever, I
Concession
agree.
stand already has electric,
It does.
so it wouldn't affect the concession stand, but the other issue is.
The highway division.
Highway
Sorry,
division.
Sorry. I got the two of them confused. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of going.
Any other questions? Seeing none, motion's in order. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $268,821.20 from account 1-000-359000 undesignated fund balance, general government, to accounts as follows for capital improvement items. In general government, account number 1161100-530-840, city clerk, preservation of documents, $15,000. Account number 121-000-585-060, police, radios, 4-year annual portable radio upgrade, $37,500. Account number 121-01-000-587-037, police, motorcycle, police, 1 motorcycle replacement, $20,500. Account number 12201-000-587410, fire department, turnout gear, fire protective equipment phase 4, $55,000. Account number 12201-000-587042, fire, replacement light truck, the replacement of a pickup truck, it's $55,000. Account number 14201-000-587041, DPW, replace a 1-ton truck, the replacement of highway number 44, $65,000. Account number 11241-1000-587-023, citywide, copier replacement in the police station. The amount is $10,021.20. Account number 154-11000-585-040, Council on Aging. Equipment, Council on Aging dishwasher, $8,000. Account number 16501-000-558090, Park. Supplies, other, for a mini storage container, $2,800. That total is $28,821.20.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thibodeau. We discussed all these things about 10 months ago in their entirety. We gave a priority to our capital improvement plan and forwarded to the mayor. But there's a mix in planning and urgency and budgeting that has resulted in this coming down at this time. So I'm recommending that we go forward with it. It's all urgent projects that we approved last year. Is there any comments? Any further comments from other councils? Motion's in order. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $308,248.15 from 6100-359000 Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings for capital water improvement items as follows. In the Water Enterprise Fund, account number 6100-558205, Water Enterprise Fund Special Safety Equipment Safety Trailer, $15,450. in account 6100-587039, Water Enterprise Fund, replacement heavy truck, replacement for the 2001 Ford Ranger, $55,823.70. In account 6100-553150, Water Enterprise Fund, water meter supplies, replacement of 1,100 water meters at a cost of $236,974.45 for a total of $308,248.15.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thibodeau. Once again, this enterprise fund, these are programs which we have already discussed in great detail. The meter supplies are a continuing phase 4 of a long-term plan, and I believe everything's in order. Councilor Thibodeau, do you have any comments? Councilor Kirby?
Thank you. We have traditionally talked on this council about taking some funds for the water meter replacements from the wastewater, as there's been traditionally a little more funding available in the wastewater area, and because 90% of, by the configuration between water and wastewater, the funding also comes through the wastewater department, so that there should be some sharing of costs. We've had numerous talks with our financial analyst on that, that a portion, and it's not split 50-50, but it's sort of like a third, but my concern is that if we take all funding from the Water Enterprise Fund, that it's not breaking down the costs the way it's supposed to be between the two enterprise funds. So, and do I have an answer for you on that, or the percentage? No, I saw the motion just now going, but wait a minute, we've traditionally always split that. And again, it's not a 50-50 split, so, and we can't just shift it over to the wastewater area either. So that's a concern of mine going forward on that. And it's not that I think we shouldn't be buying water meters, it's that I think we need to make sure that we get the splits right.
It's a valid concern, and you are correct. The wastewater department has funded a portion of the water meter supplies. What I would recommend is that we vote this out of committee in its current manner, but hold it instead of going in front of the full council tonight. Get the items resolved over the following week so that we can bring it into full council next week.
Excuse me, Mr. Conti. We have a committee meeting next week, so it'd be 2 weeks
It'll be
down the
2
line.
weeks.
Could we possibly pull that one item out and vote the rest through?
The truck and the
Trailer.
trailer.
Yeah, because the
Mr.
sailors,
Thibodeau, is that
Yeah,
acceptable to you?
that's fine.
the trailer is definitely a safety item. And
That's
where, the sooner you can get that on the road, the
It's a
better
good
off.
suggestion, Councilor Blair, and Councilor Thibodeau's in agreement, so as a friendly amendment, we're gonna pull that one section out
Do it as an amendment.
as an
The
amendment.
motion, I appreciate, just making sure.
It's a
that-
valid concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that will give us an opportunity to go forward with the Ranger and the trailer. And I don't think 2 weeks are gonna make a big difference in the water meter. They have a
They
inventory
won't-
in.
Yeah, they
in the-
have
in
an
the water
inventory now,
department. Yep.
and it will give them ample time to
I do too.
get that squared away.
Yep.
And come spring, hopefully they're not busy through the winter, and we can do a lot more than that, but the winter tends to disrupt that water department somewhat, so.
Yeah, a lot of repair that has
Yeah.
to be done during the winter, unfortunately.
So,
Mr. Conti, I'm adding up the other two
It's
items, just to give,
$71,000.
you did it?
$71,273.70.
I trust you.
He looks totally confused.
So, Counselor, the amended motion is for a motion to appropriate, for the mayor to appropriate $71,273.70 approximately for the safety trailer and the Ford Ranger. And the motion's
Both
in-
from the same resource.
both from the Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings. And that motion is in order.
I would make that, excuse me, a second.
Would you vote in the affirmative?
Yes.
Yes, so will I. So the motion passes. Finally,
I actually vote for it.
Finally, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $84,874 from account 60000-3590000 Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings for wastewater capital improvement items. The wastewater enterprise fund would fund account number 6600-587042 Water Enterprise Fund replace light truck replacement of the existing F-350 at a cost of $59,374, and Fund 3216 Brownell Street Sewers funding for the design and engineering services to replace 175 feet of a 10-inch sewer main on Brownell Street with 5 sewer laterals at a cost of $25,500 for a total of $84,874.
Second.
Thank you, Council Thibodeau.
If I may,
Yes, please.
Chairman, is the replacement of that section of sewer line, is that an improvement to the current system where there will not be any betterment charges to any of the residents that will be serviced by that line?
There are no betterments unless the laterals are connected, or, I believe this is a direct replacement, but I will make sure I know.
Pretty sure there's
You're aware
surge.
that they are a direct
I'm
replacement?
pretty sure there's surge on that street, so that's replaced.
All right.
Yep. There's a formal process to inform residents of a potential betterment when a new sewer line is put into place, and that has not been done. Therefore, this must be a direct replacement, or else that process is going to have to take place before this can actually be expended.
If you could
That I
just check on it, please. And the reason I ask is because there have been mistakes made. We all make mistakes from time to time. And if we have some leeway in time to check on it before we go ahead, or even if we vote on it tonight, just to check on it, and if you find that the information is exactly the way you have explained it, then it's fine. If we find that we need...
I happen to know, Council, that there is a Massachusetts general law that says the city can't do this without informing the residents first. So I think...
I am sure.
I'm very comfortable.
And I'm not questioning the law. I'm questioning the human beings that are touching it in the meantime, to make sure that the process is followed.
Yes.
Because human beings make mistakes, and whatever you feel most comfortable with, Mr. Chairman. I'm just concerned that if in fact you don't know that is being followed succinctly to what the state law and our ordinances state, that then that would be an opportunity to wait and to find out. So, but if you feel comfortable with it, I'll vote it out.
I do feel comfortable voting it out because this is just seeking council approval. And once we have council approval, the other activities will take place, and I will put into the minutes of the committee that there are concerns about whether or not Brunel is a replacement or a new installation. Okay?
That's fine.
So the motion is in order.
Got one question.
Oh, yes,
I
Councilor.
apologize for that, but if this is for the design and engineering.
Correct.
So this isn't the actual replacement, so my understanding is with the design and engineering, they've actually got to look at it, contact the people. So this is what's gonna get us onto the street.
You're right, Brian.
And so I think that's all part of.
Yep.
There's gonna be a lot more coming down
Yes.
in terms of the actual digging in the ground.
But I will leave in the minutes that there was concern about Brunel being a replacement or a new installation.
All right.
Just to cover your concerns.
Thank you.
And so the motion is in order. Are you comfortable voting on the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Motion's in order, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That completes the motions that I have to bring before the committee this evening. However, I'm delighted that the mayor has delivered the capital improvement plan on December 31st. This is the first time we've had this early since I've been a counselor, and I'm thrilled with this progress. We communicated about a month ago. He told me he was working on it. because it was holding up another project that we were concerned about. And we're going to have a public hearing on February 3rd, but we're going this year to interview every department. And we need to set up a meeting scheduled to do that. That would be convenient for you and Councilor Denley, as well as all the other councilors. So we should do that this evening. We should figure out what we would like to do. Miss Alger will contact Councilor Denley tomorrow to tell him about our discussion, get his input. If he has issues with his schedule in meeting our schedule, I insist that Councilor Denley be able to attend all the meetings, because I may miss some. And I want him to feel very comfortable in this chair in some of those meetings, if that must take place.
I understand.
So, what I would suggest is a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday meeting schedule. That's kind of heavy, but we have a lot of departments to go through. And this year, I also would like to see the committee address the financial numbers that are in this plan, based on some concerns that the council has seen in the past year on capital improvement projects, where the resulting bids coming in have been so far above what we had in our capital improvement plan. I'd like the capital improvement plan finances to more directly reflect reality. So we may need to break up some of the work between Council Denley, Council Thibodeau, Council Conti, the segments, to look for some indexes that may be affecting what's going on with our finances, to make recommendations to the mayor, and our final recommendation that numbers be changed for future additions and for future planning. And then I think we've really done our job, in addition to giving it a hierarchy. What's your opinion on that?
No, I agree. I think that, first of all, I don't have any problem whatsoever with splitting up the work. When I was first elected, I was appointed to the Finance Committee, and that's when we gave the finance report for the budget at the end of the year. That was certainly done that way, as was, this was combined with that. So, under that same department, committee chair. So I don't have any problem with that at all, and I agree. I think that some of the numbers we have now may be out of date, or may have changed due to the fact that with the recession that we have been through, there are not as many competitors out there as there used to be. So prices may have gone higher just because there aren't as many people to compete against for projects. So I think that's a very wise thing to do, to bring all of the estimates up to date. By checking with, we may find that some of the figures that we have, some of the estimates that we have, the businesses who gave them to us don't exist anymore. That's a possibility as well. So I think it's a very good idea to go along with it. And I also agree with having the separate meetings of the committee with the different department heads. That was something that, again, used to be done years ago, and as a matter of fact, it was been done both ways. Been done with members of the administration being there, and done without the members of the administration being there. Either way it works, although it's been my experience that if members of the administration were not there, the department heads felt more comfortable with speaking about actual ranking of whether it should be a 1 or priority or a number 3, how long they could wait, how much the cost may be relative to when they need to get the job done, that kind of thing. It's not as much so when they have to speak in front of their bosses. So I'd leave that up to the chair as to how you would wish to do that.
Well, as a government employee, I can assure you that anything that they say on television is going to be seen by their boss.
Oh, for sure.
So, I think the meetings would go a lot longer. We all think, I think we're all in agreement that the mayor's right on top of what's going on in each and every department. So I could go either way. I'll wait to get Councilor Denley's input. before we make a determination. But the question is, how do you feel about meetings on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, say at 7 o'clock?
I think I may have a conflict with the Youth Commission on one of the Thursday nights. I would have a conflict on a Wednesday night, but a week from tomorrow night.
No, this would be after February 3rd.
February.
After
Is the
February
public
3rd.
hearing?
We wouldn't have our meetings with the departments until after the public hearing.
Oh, I thought you were going to have them, you would have them before the public hearing in order to have your final amounts. Just to
I would
set to the
like-
public.
I would like a month to read the book. And be ready for those department heads. Councilor Cooper?
So, I guess it's a procedural question, and I know that we've changed the way we've done this the last couple of years, and looks like we're back to the way we used to do it. But my concern is, how can the public understand exactly what the needs of the department are if they just read this book, if they don't hear from before the it seems backwards to me. Because if one of the department heads says XYZ and a member of the public doesn't agree with that, the only opportunity for them to voice their opinion is during the public hearing. So they couldn't do that because we would have shut them out of the process that involves the department heads. To me, it seems as if the department heads would come in, do their presentation to the municipal council. People can watch them, they can read in the paper they can come get and look at the book. And then we have the public hearing where they would have all the facts in order to be able to stand at the podium and speak about whatever it is in this book that they have some concern or question about. It seems backwards to me to do it the other way. In fact, it seems almost like, have the public hearing and then have the department heads come. Doesn't really make much sense to me. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. And I don't remember how we used to do it, because it's changed a couple of different times. So I apologize for that. But I think we've got to do it the other way around if we can think of a way to make that happen. I think that's soliciting the input from the public. The way it's proposed doesn't seem to solicit that input from.
Counselor, there's no reason for you to apologize. It's a very logical point, and I agree with you completely. So what we will do is we will see if we can set up the meetings between now and February 3rd to have all the department heads come in to talk about the capital improvement plan. If we're unable to do that by February 3rd, we'll postpone the public hearing out a little bit farther so that we can get all the department heads inside. I don't know whether or not scheduling now on the 6th of January will enable us to get everybody lined up for the 3rd of February. But I agree with your logic. Councilor Cook.
The only thing about postponing it, I think we would be better off, maybe even this evening, to, when we resume, right now we've called for public hearing on the 3rd, and maybe push it out 2 more weeks, because when we advertise, there is a cost involved with advertising it, as you all know. And some of the information is a little bit more lengthy than sometimes a little bit more lengthy.
Yeah.
What Councilor Cooper is advocating, again, we've done it different ways, going back, I did it for 4 years, running it, and having the various department heads come in. But actually, the approach that Councilor Cooper is talking about closely parallels what we started doing when I was a finance chair several years ago, and Councilor Kirby has continued, which is we started having a lot of these meetings, and people are watching these, and I can tell you from from past contact with constituents going back to when I was a finance chair several years back, that the meetings when we're doing capital improvements, when we're doing the budget, tend to be among the more highly watched. This is what the reports I've gotten from constituents, because they get to see department heads that they normally don't see. They get to see a lot of the other in a much more informal atmosphere. And that type of an approach that we've worked with the budget has worked very well, where people can see what's going on, hear what's going on, have questions, and then they can come in. And so doing it in this way would be the same thing. The only thing, right now, in terms of in February, I would suggest you check with Ms. Alger to see if there's anything coming in where we're going to be doing, say, a joint meeting. Usually the second meeting of the month is when we do a joint meeting, say, a rezoning or something similar. See if there's anything scheduled for that second regular meeting in February. If there isn't, then tonight it might be just as well, would be just as well advised to move this from the 3rd of 2 weeks to the 17th of February. Or 20th.
17th.
17th of February. Only because it would be, and we wouldn't have a problem. I don't want to get to the point where we advertise and then we have to cancel it and re-advertise because there is a significant cost involved with that. I want to be putting of the taxpayers' money that is used for that particular purpose. Thank you.
Councilor Kirby.
Thank you. If I may, I'm even more inclined to go a full month to the 3rd of March. And the reason being is that I would prefer that we not have 4 meetings in a week between the council meeting and the other meetings. When I do the budget, I try never to have more than 2 meetings, the regular meeting and another meeting during the week, to not overstress out the councils, their time with their family, their other issues that they have to take care of. And if we can vote the capital improvements plan, we've got it early, but if we can vote it before midway through March, that's months before we voted it in the last few years. And so with that, we're still voting it earlier than what we voted in the past. And that way, we don't stress out, and it pushes it far enough. It doesn't interfere with any of the issues with joint public hearings. So from my perspective, that's where my recommendation to your committee is.
I have a question. When do you think your budget meetings are going to start?
Budget meetings won't start until May. So if we can get the capital improvements done by March 31st, they're still separated out. So,
Well, there's a certain fluidity that needs to take place in this process, because Ms. Alger has to coordinate many department heads. So I would like to give her some flexibility, and I'd like to try to get it done. So I agree that we should move Councilor Thibodeau, the public hearing for capital improvement from the 3rd at least to the 17th.
Yes.
But if we can coordinate those meetings without being too extensive of a calendar, we'll leave that to Ms. Alger to try to coordinate both with Councilor Denley, who's not here, and the department heads.
No matter what we try to say, we're going to have to rely on Ms. Alger anyways.
Correct.
Because she's going to let us know.
And
if
I'm
we
about to
can do it, if we
recognize her as
can't.
well, but go ahead, Councilor Burr.
Just one comment. I know we've pushed to get this early so we can get it done early.
Correct,
Let's not push it off so
correct.
something unforeseen happens. Administration has been very cooperative, got it
Correct.
to us early. Let's fast track it as
I
best
agree
we
with you.
can.
I agree with you.
So I think February 17th for the public,
Yep. You like that idea.
yeah.
Ms. Alger, do you have
I
something?
would suggest that we could hold it on February 17th. If we don't have all the departments before us, we could just continue it to March.
Excellent, have 2. Yes,
Mr. Chairman?
yes. Councilor. One moment, I just want to.
No. Not at all. All the sparkly stuff.
Yes, Councilor Cook.
Hey, I just, the question was brought up by somebody about the budget. I regularly meet with the mayor on various matters that are affecting the city and if they're going to be affecting us. And usually what I've done since I've become president is during the first week in January, I will meet with the mayor and we talk about different things coming up for the year, schedules. As you know, I've been trying, since I got in that position, to try to get us information, ahead of time, and I know a lot of you, Council Carney, on this particular item, pushing for it. I had that meeting this afternoon, as a matter of fact, with the mayor. In fact, I left here less than an hour before I returned, for this meeting. But in terms of the budget, as was mentioned, That was one of the things we were talking about, was the date for the budget. And the idea, as in the past, through the chair, Mr. Kirby, about beginning those in mid-May. So the idea of, again, this goes back to getting this early in the year, something that happened a long, long time ago. We're doing it, I applaud the administration for sending this down to us, as something we've been asking for. But I think that the plan, as suggested by Ms. Alger, is good, and we'll be able to, if we begin the process in February to have this wrapped up, by the end of March, voted down and so forth, that still gives time before the other budget comes down. And some of these items may have an impact on the budget too, for that matter.
I concur. I mean, it's the
Okay, so thank
chair's,
you.
it's the chair's opinion that Councilor Cooper is correct, that the department head should be heard before the public hearing. Councilor Blair is correct in that there is an urgency to get this thing done. Councilor Kirby is also correct that
Don't kill us.
there's a lot of meetings. My world is nothing but meetings.
I understand.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Just for you guys.
But I do think that if we schedule for move the public hearing out to February 17th, continue it if we don't have all the departments, I think we can get all of our bases covered. Council Perico.
I'm strongly in support of the 17th. I know that an aggressive meeting schedule is challenging for all of us, but I think that was what the goal was, of getting this as early as possible. And we also have to keep in mind, this also has to go through the planning board as well, so they have to have enough time to vet the projects and things, and we need to keep, we're not the only ones who look at this. There are other people that have to weigh in on it as well. And according to the schedule, they're supposed to have it sometime in February or March. So, and I appreciate Councilor Cooper's comments. It has been my experience with the public hearings when we had the tax classification. It was a little challenging because the public didn't have the numbers in front of them, and I prefer to not repeat that again. So I look forward to the 17th.
Very good. Councilor Cook?
This does not have to go through the planning board, this comes from the.
Well, no. They have to create comments on the project. So that's not part of the plan.
Right, yeah, but that's not the planning board, that's actually the planning office.
Sure.
So it's not a separate board, it's just one to make sure, I know what you're saying, but it's not the planning board, it's Mr. Rajan and his staff, but the planning board is a separate entity that does not work to get involved with this.
That's not what it says in.
That's not what it says here.
Councilor Cooper.
Thank you. That's not what it says on page 8 of the book.
Okay, and I might be looking with,
So,
maybe you
and
change it.
thank you for considering those. I also, Councilor Conti, if I can continue to be a pest for you this evening.
Doing a good job.
I know.
I didn't say that.
I'll take these.
I know you mentioned, inviting every department, but there are some departments that have only a few things here, and some of them are quite self-explanatory. For example, replacing HVAC units and that kind of thing. Unless you were trying to gain from them some insight into other things that may not be in here, but I don't imagine that, I can't see why that would happen. If they needed it, I would hope that it would be here. Anyway, so I don't know, nobody's really had a free minute with everything that's gone on to really take a hard look at it, but I would ask you to consider that when you're scheduling, not only for the department heads, consider the department head and what their requests are, but also the schedule and timeline we're trying to meet.
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Councilor.
Thank you. Looking at the schedule on page 8, that is a suggested schedule of spacing things out in an attempt to lay out a plan of approximate times when all of these things may be done. It's certainly not hard and fast by any means.
And I think, as I mentioned before, there has to be a certain amount of fluidity. There's 17 department heads, and I'm inclined to get them all here, even if it's a short meeting. That's my inclination. I will leave that up to the time issues. So it's part of that fluidity that I was talking about. Maybe some will get dropped out. And we'll make sure that all councilors are aware of the schedule as it's developed. And nothing will happen until Councilor Denley gets his 2 cents in with Ms. Alger sometime as soon as he's healthy. Councilor, do you have any other business to bring before the committee?
No, sir.
I make a motion that we adjourn the committee on capital improvements and city development.
Second.
Motion's in order, all in favor? Aye. I declare the committee adjourned at 8:04. Thank you.
Peter, you have one, right?
Yeah.
Public safety and emergency management is canceled this evening.
Zoning and land use is canceled this evening?
I have just an update for my colleagues. I've been in discussions with the mayor and the president of the council since November regarding the mayor's update on the budget. The mayor has a lengthy update, and Mr. Cook and I debated a number of different ways on how to do this and to not pull away from, taking away from the time of council or, because it's, as I said, it's lengthy, multiple hours, 2 to 3 hour update from the administration is what he's presenting. He has all kinds of stuff to present to us. So with that, it was suggested that we hold a second budget meeting on a Thursday night. And the president has worked out with the mayor a meeting night of next Thursday, which would be January 15th. And so I'm bringing that to you as that's what's been organized to this point. If there was major objections, then we would look and see if we could do something else. But it would, again, start at 7, and looking to start at 7. So we would be here in the council chambers and move forward with a full budgetary update. Mayor has a number of things to bring before us and would like to bring that, but how we were going to bring that information forward was debated for a number of weeks. Finally, this is what's worked out. So again, not to take up committee nights as well as a full council night. Right? If that's all right? And if there's anything specific, I know he has an agenda to bring forward, but if there's something specific that any of you, and you have in the past, anything specific that you would like information on, I would like to hear that and get that to the mayor. Yes, Mr. Conte?
To facilitate that, can we get some information from the mayor on what his agenda is for that meeting in advance?
The agenda's being worked on, I can tell you that. That was again another one of the topics in the discussion I had with the mayor today, that agenda is actually in the works at the moment.
So it would be circulated to
I'm
council.
hoping that it probably would be, but I'm not gonna promise.
Excellent.
I will send
request.
I will send an email request to the mayor if that's possible, what the agenda would be.
Even a couple days is helpful. It just gives us an opportunity to adjust and
To know what we're going to be
know
covering.
what's coming up rather than being surprised the night of the update.
I appreciate that. Anything else? With that, budget and appropriations is canceled for this evening. Thank you.
I should call the Committee on Public Works to order at 8:08. I have 2 motions this evening to bring forward. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I entertain a motion to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $5,500 from account 6000-35900 wastewater enterprise funds retained earnings to account 6000-530101 wastewater enterprise funds professional services relative to funding for consultant services to investigate the slow response time that the wastewater plant has been experiencing with their SCADA system, which is affecting plant operations.
Second.
Okay. It's pretty self-explanatory. They've got a situation where we've got to get some outside expertise in there to go over that computer system with the SCADA that they have. That's different from the SCADA from the water department. And see if they can get it up to speed, if there's something wrong with the system itself, or if it needs tweaking. Anybody in my committee have any questions? No. Mr. Conti?
So, Councilor Blair, we think this is a programming issue?
It sounds like it to me, but in order to find out exactly what it is and try to get it squared away, this is money we need for an outside consultant. There's nobody.
And are we planning on using the same people who installed the system?
I would assume, yes.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
sure Mr. Kennedy's on top of that. We wouldn't call somebody in to look at something they haven't had any experience. That wouldn't be good business practice. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Secondly, from the docket of February 21st, 2012, I entertain a motion to strike the following item from the docket of February 21st, 2012, that the city council investigate the issue of flooding at and around the area of 349 Handy Street. After the investigation is concluded, the city will look into different possible remedies to help alleviate the problem of flooding in said area. This was new business brought in by Mr. Denley. At the time, we did some extensive work with the neighbors and different possibilities of dispersing the water. Since then, DPW's done a couple of projects, one with a drainage catch basin, and furthermore with a trench on the other side of the road. And Acting Superintendent, Mr. Dubuque, has informed me that that problem has been alleviated. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move to adjourn at 8:11.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Yes.
What was the 20th?
Ready for Christmas.
Just the Zoom.
There's the Zoom, okay. Yeah,
Right.
when you're across
I'm
the
going
road,
to keep this
I say hold it.
with the smiley face and the
That
credit.
gives me 4.
Well, I have to, I need Jonathan, but you're all I need, Pete.
I hate to put that.
Sure, that's not the first time you've heard that.
Only time from you,
I'm
though.
gonna have,
Yeah, that's the first time for me.
I'm gonna have to
Take a
put,
moment and mark the calendar.
please do, Walter. That's tough.
We needed a little bit of levity there for
There
a
you
moment. So I call city property claims to order at 8:12. Welcome back, Counselor.
Give me that.
I have two motions to discuss with you this evening. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I entertain a motion in accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro to approve the request of the mayor to accept the donation of $300 in gift cards to Stop and Shop from the Holiday Spirit Committee to the Veterans Department.
Second.
So, through the generosity of the Holiday Spirit Committee, they go out and purchase gift cards that the Veterans Department hands out to needy individuals through the holiday season. I know that this was actually my first order of business after it's a year ago tomorrow, happy anniversary from the inauguration. And this was one of my first orders of business as a new counselor. So I'm happy to see this come through again. I'm glad that the Holiday Spirit Committee is so generous. Please.
I know last year was your first year that this comes before you, but as some of us have been here a little longer, this holiday committee has done fabulous work over the years. Not only at Christmas time, but throughout the year. It's fun some needy people and needy situations in town. They should be thanked. We brought them Rahat from the citizens of Attleboro because they do a wonderful job. And we have somebody in the office here that does an awful lot of that work.
She does. She does, so.
Ducking.
Huh?
She's ducking.
She's ducking behind her desk. Y'all know who we mean.
If I may,
Please,
Madam Chair.
That's why I didn't
There was-
mention it by name.
There was an email sent out by that person thanking everyone else for this past holiday season, if you will, beginning with bake sales and everything else that everyone chipped in and helped to raise money so that dispersions like this of the money could go to other deserving projects within our community and around our community, to whoever needed it and needed to be touched. And yet, she forgot to thank herself. And I, for one, sent back my reply to her email was yes, and Linda Alger, too. So I don't mind, yeah, well, I'm going to say the name because I don't mind giving credit to where credit is due. She thanked all of the people who had helped her to organize, and the vast majority of them work within this building. And, but she, obviously, she's not the kind of person to seek any kind of recognition. However, maybe this is the time, because we all know what her schedule is, so this is the time that we start saying it before it's too late, and we can't say it.
Right. Thank you for your comments, Counselor. It was interesting for me. I was able to attend the Penny Social Luncheon at Christmas, and it was my first time really experiencing that, and it was truly wonderful and magical. And as you have stated, both of you fine gentlemen have stated, it's a wonderful organization, and lindasthebomb.com. Do you have any comments? Any additional comments?
Ditto, all along.
All around the U. All right. I move for a vote. All those in favor of accepting the $300 in gift cards?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And thank you, Linda. Secondly, I entertain a motion in accordance with Section 2-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro to approve the request of the mayor to declare the following school department items as surplus and available for disposition. A Hindenburg printing press, model cord 327071, quantity 1, unsalvageable. An ATF Davidson Super Chief XLK printing press, model number XLK-27, K88X287, quantity 1, unsalvageable. And finally, an AB Dick printing press, model number 9810, serial number 6495, quantity 1, unsalvageable.
Second.
Thank you. These are some supplies, obviously, from the school department, from the printing area, and they don't have parts to fix them anymore.
I think they were there when I was there. I was in the 70s. Teaching
Possibly,
there.
it's not the Hindenburg printing press. It's the
Heidelberg.
I can't, I'm sorry, you just walk right in. So I will move for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Those who are here from the previous century don't mind it.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Adjourned at 8:17. You're such a good sport, Pete.
Teaching in the high school. They did all over a lot of city departments. And that stuff sounds like it belonged back then.
That's what we had over at Kentucky Vote where I was as well. I had a huge print shop.
Yeah,
Was that all the committees?
that's when I.
Yeah, that's it for committees.
I'm gonna use the ladies' room really quick while he's switching.
Yep.
Since we have a moment, are we going to be trying to coordinate schedule
Committee meetings anymore.
for the meeting starting tonight? I mean,
Once Linda talks to Council Denver tomorrow.
It was in our first term. She's 12 years,
okay.
11 or 12 years.
Let's see if I have everybody's motions.
Yeah.
Take what you want.
Constituents are missing here.
I am sticking with Charleston too.
I have licenses.
Those are healthier than.
Richard, did you update these figures? Are these updated figures? Richard,
No, they're not.
they're not?
That's just a copy. Oh, you got that? Yeah.
Right.
Makes no sense.
I know, but I need to make sure that Linda has it. Was Linda going to make a new motion on that?
What we did is we put through $71,273.70 on page 2 of the top motion, Mr. President. Right here,
On page 2 at the top, right. So you changed it to appropriate what amount?
$71,273.70.
Right, again, 71,000,
273,
273,
dot 7.
dot 07?
70.
Okay. Okay. And in the other line items there at the bottom, which ones did you,
Everything else went through, because the Brownell was just for engineering, and we made notes in the meeting.
but no, I have that one, but on the, what I'm confused about, it says your motion is to appropriate 71,000, but in that little box down below, what changed?
We took the last item out.
Took out the last item only?
The $236,000 item was pulled out.
So where'd you get the little ones?
What I love is in this letter.
And Linda has that?
Yes.
Betty, do you have that?
Mine still says 308.
I don't understand.
All right. It's going to be changed to 71,270.
Did she redo
You
it?
want it?
Oh, you probably won't get it.
Redo it, or should I just?
It's not tonight, but it's quite humorous.
I just crossed it on the
You just crossed it off, yeah.
Sign this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
No, they made like. Hey, did you see? Walter, did you see?
That's like when I have Swedish fish.
Has that been changed?
What's his name?
Give me one of
Peter
those.
Gay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see his thing?
I found that. First of all, I always have to take a pill before I read his articles because they make me a little crazy. But I was kind of cracking up because
What did he
he
write?
said it was like an offense, like, you know, in
We are
our.
live, by the way.
I canceled my
We're on
September, so I don't.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Everyone's
All
on.
right, just make sure my hands is all.
You should just have it on the list.
Do I have your motions?
As far as I'm concerned,
Dan,
like anything else,
I have yours?
for us,
Dan, Mr.
we
Pivot,
we do our work, we vote it up, we vote it down.
Okay, anything else out here?
Thank you, Frank, for
All right, you're welcome. I
Keeping it
just had to make
moving.
sure I had all my motions.
Comes
Okay.
from the top.
Call the council meeting back to order at 8:28. As we begin, I just have two quick announcements. The first is, as was mentioned during the capital improvements meeting, we previously, this evening, voted to hold the public hearing on the capital improvements on February 3rd. Based on that discussion and the change of the date to the 17th, I'm just going to accept that as a friendly amendment, so we won't be having a separate vote on that, but I do need to have that on the record to show that we actually had changed it. So that is going to be on the 17th, so that's, I'm accepting it as a friendly amendment, okay? And then the other details about the subsequent meetings will be forthcoming in the coming days. The second thing I wanted to mention was a new initiative that is beginning tonight for the council, and it has been in the works for a while with AACS, is starting with this meeting tonight. Our meetings are now going to be streamed online. And so this, that was something that we were beginning this year. It was something that the cable station, through Jim Jones, had entered into discussions with me several months ago about, and we concluded that in recent weeks. So this was the first night that the meetings are actually being streamed online and going forward. So just another step forward. So I know some of you were interested or had mentioned that, but something that when it was first mentioned to me, it was already something that we were working on, but we hadn't really finalized. So that is something that, so right now we are being streamed online.
Televised and online.
Right, televised and online, live. Yes, sir.
So, Mr. President, how does the public access our council meeting
There
online?
is going to actually be a press release explaining that will be forthcoming. And that's something that we're still in development, but we want to kick it off in the first meeting here.
So,
Okay.
if I may, Mr. Chairman, does that mean that when we're in recess or some other thing that may happen that may stop us from doing our business, are the microphones still going to be turned on? Or is it going to be similar to what's
It'll be
going on?
similar to what it's going on during a regular
with-
meeting.
With the video now?
That's my
Okay,
understanding,
all right,
yes.
because that's important for us to know.
Yes,
With some of the silly stuff that we say.
okay. Yes. Thank you. Yes, Council Baker.
Thank you, President Cook. I couldn't be more excited about this. I get this request from many of my friends around the community. People in my age bracket and significantly younger go to the internet to watch whatever it is whenever they have an opportunity to do so. And you can also play it through different media, like through your
Right.
Xbox or whatever. You can get onto YouTube that way because it is on YouTube. I'm sure it'll be streaming similarly to the school committee. So I'm glad now anyone who wants to know what's going on in the city can access school committee and city council anytime they want. They don't have to wait
Right.
every 4 hours for the replay on WACS. So I couldn't be more excited and enthusiastic about this.
And I was
you.
very glad when Council Baker came to me and asked me about the possibility that I could say to her, we were already, we're actually at that point about ready to finalize it. So it was something that was being worked on. So I was very glad to be able to say, that, yes, it's something that we're going to be doing.
And that was
very
only a
soon.
couple weeks ago.
That was only a couple weeks ago,
I'm thrilled.
but again, it had been a while since we had first started looking into it, so that was gonna be my surprise announcement. I thought it-
Welcome to our online friend.
Say what?
Welcome to our online friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, at this point, we're going to proceed with the committee reports, and we'll begin with Councilor Conti, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for the Capital Improvements and City Development Committee, from the docket of January 6, 2015, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $18,807.66 from the undesignated fund balance general government account to the citywide site development account to bring electrical services to two city projects, the new animal shelter located on Pond Street North and the new DPW Highway Division complex located on Lamb Street.
Second.
Thank you, the motion's in order. Are there any comments, please?
Mr. President, we just discussed this about 20 minutes ago, and now that it's on the internet, you can just click the back button and see it all over again. So I don't feel like repeating myself again. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a roll call vote, and the vote will begin with Councilor Hegney.
Ms. Hegney?
Yes.
Mrs. Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Waite?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
President.
welcome.
From the docket of January 6, 2015, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $268,821.20 from the undesignated fund balance general government account to accounts as follows for capital improvement items: the city clerk preservation of documents, the police radios, the 4-year portable radio upgrade, the police motorcycle replacement, the fire turnout gear phase 4, the replacement light truck for the fire department, the DPW replacement of highway number 44, the citywide copier replacement for the police station, the council on aging dishwasher, and the supplies for the mini storage cabin for the park department.
Second.
Thank you, the motion's in order. Are there any comments, please?
Mr. President, the public should know that these items were thoroughly vetted 10 months ago during the capital improvement plan, and we will be going through that same process again very shortly. So there's not a lot of discussion on the expenditure of $268,000 at this time, because there was heated debates about it in the annex room 10 months ago, and my committee is very comfortable with this presentation, and that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a roll call vote, and the vote will begin with Councilor Conti.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waite?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Parika?
Yes.
Ms. Hegney?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the docket of January 6th, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $71,273.70 from the Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings for water capital improvement items to include the safety trailer, safety equipment, and the replacement for a 2001 Ford Ranger.
Second.
Thank you, the motion's in order. Are there any comments?
Mr. President, I do not have any further comments.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kirby?
I appreciate Mr. Conti pulling the water meters so we can get that information finalized, so we can move forward with those, making sure the water meters come from both water and wastewater, as we've practiced in the past.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a roll call vote, and the vote will begin with Councilor Hegney.
Ms. Hegney?
Yes.
Mrs. Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Waite?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
From the docket of January 6th, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $84,874 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund retained earnings for wastewater capital improvement items to include the replacement of an existing F-350 truck and the Brownell Street Sewer Engineering Services for 175 feet of 10-inch sewer main on Brownell Street.
Second.
Thank you, the motion's in order. Are there any comments?
No, Mr. President, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Conti.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Mr. Waite?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mrs. Parika?
Yes.
Ms. Hegney?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion passes.
Mr. President, that concludes the business that the Capital Improvements and City Development Committee has to bring before the full council this evening. We look forward to a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor White?
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for zoning and land use. We have no business this evening. However, we'd like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Kirby?
Thank you, President Cook. I too have no business for budget and appropriations, but I call for a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time, as well as a meeting on Thursday, January 15th, to have a full budget update from the administration, 7 o'clock.
Thank you. And would you like to call for a committee meeting on behalf of Councilor Denley, please?
Absolutely. Committee meeting for Council Denley for ordinances of elections and legislative matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Blair?
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for Public Works, I have two motions this evening.
Okay.
Bring forward. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I move to approve the request of the mayor to appropriate $5,500 from account wastewater enterprise fund retained earnings to account wastewater enterprise fund's professional services for consultant services to investigate the slow response time that the wastewater plant has been experiencing with their SCADA system, which is affecting plant operations.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments?
Now, we
please?
discussed it less than a half hour ago.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none. This matter requires a roll call vote. The vote will begin with Councilor Hegney.
Ms. Hegney?
Yes.
Sorry. Mrs. Parika?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Waite?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
President Cook?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. 9 yeas, 0 nays.
And the motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of February 21st, 2010, I move to strike the following item from the docket of February 21st, 2012, that the City Council investigate the issue of flooding at or around the area of 349 Handy Street. After the investigation is concluded, the city will look into different possible remedies to help alleviate the problem of flooding in said area. This was new business brought in by Mr. Denley.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments, please?
Other than I think we've fixed it to the best of our ability, and I want to thank the DPW for their efforts in getting this under control for those neighbors.
Thank you. Any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no other business this evening, but would request a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Thibodeau.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
Reporting for Transportation and Traffic. I have no business this evening. Would like to call for a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no business, public safety and emergency management. We need a call for a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Parika.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Reporting for city property and claims. I have two motions to bring forward this evening. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I move in accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro to approve the request of the mayor to accept the donation of $300 in gift cards to Stop and Shop from the Holiday Spirit Committee to the Veterans Department.
Second?
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments?
I think we covered this pretty well about 10 minutes ago. We're all very grateful to the Holiday Spirit Committee for doing what they do for our community.
Okay. Thank you. Any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you very much. From the docket of January 6, 2015, I move in accordance with Section 2-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro to approve the request of the mayor to declare the following school department items as surplus and available for disposition: a Heidelberg printing press, condition unsalvageable; an ATF Davidson Super Chief XLK printing press, quantity 1, unsalvageable; and an AB Dick printing press, quantity 1, unsalvageable.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments?
I do not have any additional comments.
Thank you. Does anybody have any additional comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a roll call vote, and the vote will begin with Councilor Conti.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Mr. Wade.
Yes.
Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Thibodeau.
Yes.
Mr. Cooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Parika.
Yes.
Ms. Hagney.
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion passes.
Thank you very much. That
welcome.
concludes the business for city property and claims, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Hagney.
Thank you. I am going to begin with licenses,
Okay.
President. From the docket of reporting for licenses. From the docket of January 6, 2015. I move to approve the application for 2015 renewal Class 2 auto license from Blue and White Motors Incorporated, 1815 County Street, Attleboro, Mass. For 4 customer parking spaces and 15 display spaces.
Second?
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments, please?
No, there isn't. We went through committee already.
Thank you. Any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you. I move to approve the application for a new 2014 Hackney Carriage driver's license from Jeffrey Stewart Wallace, 900 North Main Street, Attleboro, Mass.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments?
This is the motion that we talked about in committee, that to get it out of committee, we voted in the affirmative. But now the police recommend denial because he was not forthcoming and truthful on the application, which is an automatic denial. They had sent him a letter with the intentions of denial for the recommendation to the council to this person. So now, if you agree with the denial, which hopefully you do, that you vote no now.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other concerns or comments? Everybody clear on the voting? On this one? Okay. This matter requires a voice vote unless somebody wants a roll call vote.
No, I think we're...
Voice vote? Okay. All right. All those in favor? All those opposed?
No.
Nay.
Nay. Okay.
Yeah, nay.
The motion, nay, the motion failed.
Have to make the motion in the affirmative, and it's gotta be a roll call.
Well, we-
Motion's gotta be made in the affirmative.
You have a voice vote on this, though. That's what I'm
Need
saying.
the roll call vote, and
Okay.
everybody.
There has to be a motion to
Okay.
deny.
That's what it's gonna go.
Okay.
Motion to
So we
deny.
did everything right, but we need a roll call.
All right, but on the motion itself, the motion would be in the,
It's in the
It's
affirmative, but we're
affirmative,
voting
right.
no, so we just gotta do a roll
so
call.
just do it the other way
Gotta be
around.
voted, yeah.
Can't be a voice vote.
All right, can't be.
Okay.
To approve.
That was right here. Okay, so we'll have.
Rewind.
This will be,
Just slide the bar back.
decided back. Okay. My notes had it as a voice vote, so I'll correct that. And this will be a roll call vote, beginning with Council Higney.
Ms. Hegney?
No.
Mrs. Parika?
No.
Mr. Cooper?
No.
Mr. Thibodeau?
No.
Mr. Blair?
No.
Mr. Kirby?
No.
Mr. Wade?
No.
Mr. Conti?
No.
President Cook?
No.
0 yeas, 9 nays.
The motion fails.
Okay. Thank you, and just a thank you to Lieutenant Dion, too, for that. He does the background and everything on that, too. The next motion from the docket of August 19, 2014. I move to strike the following item from the docket of August 19, 2014. The complaint from Jamie McKenna, 18 Newton Street, Attleboro, Mass., relative to AOK Used Cars, 650 Washington Street, Attleboro, Mass.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments?
Just as we said in committee, that it's still on the record that this was a complaint. It'll always be there, but just not on the committee's dockets for licenses.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other concerns or comments?
If I may,
Yes,
Mr.
Councilor
Chairman,
Thibodeau.
Mr. President, excuse me, just to add a little bit more background to it. Councilor Churchill had mentioned in passing and in front of committee members that he had talked about trying to resolve this conflict with sitting down with both parties and was unable to resolve it. So that's why he decided to finally bring it forth, knowing that the complaint would stay on the record. But I think it's important to note that he did put an effort in to try to get the two parties to come together and resolve it one way or another. He just wasn't able to do that.
Thank you. Are there any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter does require a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. That is all the business for licenses, and call for a committee meeting for Councilor Churchill at the next appropriate time.
Okay, thank you.
Or his committee. And the next is one item for Personnel and Human Services. I called reporting for Personnel and Human Services from the docket of January 6, 2015. I move to confirm the reappointment of Ellie Kirby to fill an expired term on the Youth Commission for a term of 2 years, term to expire February 2017.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any comments, please?
Mr. Kirby, already in committee, had said this is his daughter. We all know Ellie, great little girl. I shouldn't say little girl. We used to
Young
know when
lady.
she was a little girl. Now she's in middle school.
Yes,
Oh
she
my
is.
God.
She's a young lady.
Yeah, she's a very nice young lady.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that I'm going to say yes.
Another Kirby on the Youth
Thank you.
Commission.
Thank you. Any other concerns or comments? Hearing none, this matter requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you. And I'm hoping to touch base with the Youth Commission just to see what they're up to have them come in, a couple of them, at least the chairperson and some of the new people, just to get them in, to have like a little update or something. It's just they have busy schedules too.
We do have a
So-
meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, but I want them to come to the committee, so we can hopefully get some kind of a update on that. And then we still have available slots on that too, right? So if anyone knows, what's the age?
They go from 5th grade now up through 18 or through senior year in high school.
So if anyone can commit to that, they're always looking for new, fresh meat.
Yes.
Okay, and that's all I have
Really
for
bad.
Personnel and Human Services.
really,
And
really
call
bad.
for a committee meeting
There
at
is
the next
no,
appropriate time.
thank you. There's no old business scheduled listed for this evening. There is one new business item, and I recognize Councilor Thibodeau.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
The docket of January 20th, 2014, I move to refer the following matter to the appropriate committee for study and recommendation that volunteers be recruited to be appointed by the mayor to the Attleboro Disability Council. Because it has been inactive for too long, and the Disability Council members provide a great service to the community, being active in the planning stages of city projects by their input of applying the American Disabilities Act. All interested residents of Attleboro must submit their request to the mayor's office with a brief resume of their experience and their desire to make their city a friendlier place for all disabled residents and our guests who visit here.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. Are there any additional comments, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
I placed this document in everyone's box this evening. Along with it is the page from this particular booklet from the Massachusetts Office on Disability as to the procedures and the responsibilities of a local disability commission. And what I had read in the motion and what is here in this document is very similar to what we have in our ordinances, where the mayor makes an appointment. It's sent down to the city council, we either confirm it or not, and that person, based on everyone's opinion, is either placed on that commission or not. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is that I have been, in an attempt to try to refresh my memory, I used to, about 10 years ago, and previous to that, I had attended the monthly meetings of the Attleboro Disability Council. And the meetings were held over at the Senior Center, and one of the advisors for that committee at the time was Mr. Semple, who at the time was the he doesn't have the same title he has now, but he was the head building inspector, if you will, for lack of remembering what his actual title was. But he offered a lot of input to that commission, and the commission serves the purpose of, well, it serves many different purposes, but one of the main things that it does is it gives a citizen who has a concern about a particular improvement that has been made within the city or the lack thereof that needs to be made. This is an opportunity to them to go before the Disability Commission, make that concern known, and at that point, since it is a city commission where the members are all appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council, that gives them a voice to the mayor's office to be able to bring them forward to the mayor and his administration, so they would have an opportunity to go forward and work on resolving whatever problems that people would bring to their attention. And some of these things they may recognize on their own. There's also the Disability Rights, or the Massachusetts Office on Disability has offered to come into any community and school department heads, city councilors, administrations on all of the disability laws within the state, do a workshop, bring information that can be referenced and referred to. They're very much an educational program as much as an enforcement agency at times. So there's a lot of positives there that I'm hoping that the mayor will hear us, and as he has in the past, and that some action will be taken on the council.
Thank you. Any other additional comments or concerns? Hearing none, this matter requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. I'm going to be referring that matter to the administration because, as Councilor Thibodeau had just mentioned, appointments are the responsibility of the administration.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. That is all the business for the council for this first meeting of 2015. So welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year.
I actually missed
And I would
one.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. The motion's in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned at 8:54. Thank you very much.
We did.